tournament silence.
Anticipation to see what.
Oh, goodness! That ball had a family!
Welcome back to High Sox. Low IQ, High Sox. We're talking Reds baseball. This is episode 2. I'm here with John and Ben. My name's Mitch. Let's get into it. We had a busy weekend, opening day, and the first game of the Rangers series. How you guys doing?
Good. John?
We are here. We are on top of the world right now because the season is underway and just anything's possible. We're in that perfect little bubble where anything's possible.
Mm-hmm. This is like watching Ken Burns baseball during the winter and then waking up and being like, man, baseball is fucking back, baby.
Ben, this is what you've been waiting for. This is what your whole year is spent waiting for, right? How does it feel? We're 4 games in. What's your just like 2-word thought so far?
Feels good. Feels good.
Couldn't have said it any better.
Did you watch Ken Burns baseball this year?
I haven't watched it in a couple of years now. Have you guys?
Man,
No.
John's never watched Ken Burns baseball, unfortunately.
No. It's such a time suck that I feel like I'm not ever in the mood. You know, Ben, we have a long history of you recommending films to me. It takes me a very long time to get around to watching it.
Music, shows. It's never gonna happen.
He did watch Band of Brothers though.
And I did listen to Pinkerton.
Pinkerton is a great album.
We can move on. We can move on. You know my thoughts on Green Day. It's a fucking Green Day.
Wow.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think mix up of the words. Those two bands though, Weezer and Green Day, kind of take up the same like space in my brain. I don't know why, but we did see Green Day at Great American Ballpark. Did we not, Ben? And it was a fun show.
I forgot about that.
It was a fun show.
It was a fun show. It was.
You guys, I saw Green Day at Citi Field with Rancid and Smashing Pumpkins. Rancid opened, Smashing Pumpkins was 2, and they did a wrestling shtick on stage. I don't know if you guys witnessed that, but Smashing Pumpkins did like a wrestling shtick on stage, and he brought his kids on stage, and then Green Day was the headliner, and it was altogether a fun show. Great atmosphere. They did all those baseball parks. They did like a bunch of baseball parks in that tour, and they had those individual patches, you know, for the stadiums they toured at. They had like a Citi Field patch, a Great American Ballpark patch. Did you guys get one of those?
I tried to get you one actually, because I know you said you missed it, and so I went into the line and they were sold out. But
Dude.
yeah, I just remember Smashing Pumpkins was very forgettable. I think
they phoned it in.
They were there just to collect their paycheck and get off stage.
Yeah, they just went through the motions, and it was like, it's fine, but you could just tell that they were not in it, which was disappointing.
I mean, they've been doing it 35 years, so.
I think they were great. They were great at Citi Field. I don't know what happened at Great American Ballpark, but they were fantastic over here. I wasn't there to see them, but like I thought they put on a great show, and they had that wrestling thing at the end. I'll have to show you guys a clip, but I actually did go to the merch stand and I looked for those Citi Field patches, and they were also sold out. So I was kind of bummed about that. Went on eBay, $50 fucking to get a fucking Citi Field Green Day patch. Can't do it. I can't do it, dude.
It's just unfair.
No,
people need to stop being greedy. Not everything is another way to make a little quick buck. Okay,
and this goes
a side hustle.
No, this goes to concert tickets. This goes to baseball tickets. Like, it's so frustrating these days. Like, people make a large amount of money scooping up exclusive tickets for a playoff game, for like, you know, a big baseball series. You see it all the time. Taylor Swift bobbleheads, like those bobbleheads will sell for like, you know, 5 times what they probably cost to make or whatever, at least maybe more than that. So it's so frustrating. Scalpers and we've seen it with the Nintendo Switch exclusives and stuff like that too. So it's a huge problem in entertainment, sports, goods in general. I hate it, dude. It's terrible, especially as all three of us who like going to concerts and seeing shows. It's like it's terrible.
Yeah, but I feel like when we went to opening day, I feel like Ben, we've gone to opening day together at least twice. I want to say, maybe 3
At least,
times.
yeah. I thought it was like 3
Yeah,
or 4 at this point.
maybe.
Something like that.
I feel like we've always found a way to find a ticket. It's always kind of happened. Even like I think last time we went, it was standing room tickets, but we eventually found a seat.
You just weasel your way down to some seats that you find.
But we did not go this year. We did not go.
No, we did not.
Did not work out. Was not in the cards. Maybe next year. But you did. We all saw opening day.
Yeah.
At least, yeah. What are your thoughts just after watching the opening day game? Because for me, it was like, hey, I'm seeing a competitive team that just made one crucial error in keeping one guy in the pitch when he had no right to.
I was excited to see Terry Francona in the dugout. I've watched him his whole career with the Red Sox, with the Indians, well, Guardians now. To see a Hall of Fame manager like that in Cincinnati on opening day was special. And unfortunately, it didn't turn out the way we wanted it to. But it was a fun game, and looking forward to the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't catch the game. I was onboarding for my new job. But I did watch the highlights, and my man Ian Jabot really laid a dookie on the mound that day.
You really just
I felt like David Bell was in the dugout in the 9th inning.
That's what it was. It felt so familiar. And it's just so funny coming off of that conversation that we had, where it's like, if Ian Jabot pitches 90 innings, we're in big trouble. And we just got proof of that. And it only took 1 inning to see what happened. It's just,
you know what? We got that out of the way. It's not going to happen the rest of the year. He's not going to be the closer, so we don't have to worry about that. 1 game, 158 to go or so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I did say that right now the closer role it's still going to be given to Diaz when he comes back from the IL, but you could see Terry going through the motions and having these different guys come out to pitch in the 9th inning. And the first game, unfortunately, was Ian Jabot, and he had a terrible appearance. But this is just 1 appearance in a long season. I still stand by my man Jabot. I think a lot of people, and the way social media is, and the way that you are as a fan, you're quick to judge. You're quick to jump down the philosophy of the pitchers that come out of the pen. So I think that it sucked, but whatever. What can you say? You kind of just raise your hand and be like, bad game, whatever.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially like we have a sample size of 1 for the season right now. And it was the clear indicator of this game was lost by this 1 player and the inaction to replace him when the signs were so apparent that he was not going to be able to put in a good outing. So it's really easy to either say, why is Ian Jabot on this team? Or in my case, why is Francona being so hands off? Is this something that we should come to expect down the line, to this like inability to make a decision like we've seen with David Bell in the past couple of years? It's so easy to come up with any of these narratives because who's going to say I'm wrong? I've seen it once. Have you seen it not happen that way? It's too early.
Yeah, it's way too early to make those judgments. I think that you see the reaction on Twitter and you see the reaction on social media, And I saw one tweet that said that the honeymoon period with Terry Francona is over, and I'm like, it's not over. We haven't even been through a weekend of games, and we saw a stinker at the end of the 9th inning, and it's hard to protect a 1-run lead. So I mean it's just hard. A lot of pitchers, the best closers in the league, sometimes fail at that, and Ian Jabot's not even a closer. So I think that you can't make any assertions about the season, about the manager from that one experience. Altogether, it was a pretty well contested game until that 9th inning. So I think that there was a lot of excitement, like there always is for Cincinnati opening day. And we just laid a dookie on the mound in the 9th inning, and you can't really do anything about that. You just kind of just say, who the fuck really cares? It's still a holiday. It's still a fun game. You want to come out with a win, but the Reds don't really win on opening day, as we've come to know.
Shit happens.
That's true. That's true. Man, I want to ask you about who else was on the mound that day in Hunter Green, our opening day starter. Besides one, mistake, he pitched a really good game. What do you think? Do you think I am incredibly wrong for having weird expectations with him, or did you see anything that maybe showed that maybe I'm a little right?
Hunter Green, he's gonna pile up the strikeouts, but again, you've always said he has trouble when trouble arises to him. He can't. What am I trying to say? Like,
he gets himself in these spots, and he can't pitch his way out of a jam. I don't know if it's nerves.
He gets flustered in these big moments. He can't throw strikes, but that's not saying he's not a tremendous pitcher. I have all the faith in the world in him. I think he's going to have an excellent year. But it's always just like those moments where you're like, uh-oh, here we go again with Hunter Green. And his pitch count continues to he has trouble keeping the pitch count down. So he'll get into the 5th inning and you're like, damn, he's already at 85, 90 pitches. He's not going to be that guy that can go 6-7 innings, but honestly, who is anymore? 6-7 innings as a starter is tough to come by nowadays, as we know.
Yeah. My big thing that I saw is you saw some of the nastiest stuff that he could pitch, but then that one long at bat that ended up in a home run, he could not get the feel for his, I think it was a slider, and he just kept resorting back to that fastball, which was easily picked up on because the guy just kept fouling it off and eventually got enough of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that he overall looked really, really good. I think that his fastball was working. I think he gave the Reds a chance to win the game, and he would have been the winning pitcher, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah,
I think so. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if we were competing in the 5th or anything.
I can't remember. Regardless, he gave the Reds a chance to win, and that's what you want from your starter. If your starter gives up 3 runs, that's a good day. You want your offense to come out and score more than 3 runs in a game. So I think that that's a decent day. If he has a 3 ERA at the end of the year, I think that's a pretty successful year. So I think he did everything right. It is opening day, so some of the kinks are probably still being worked out. I love his new look. He looks great with the lettuce hair. Yeah, it's good. It's almost unrecognizable. You see him because he's usually this clean cut guy, and now he's rocking the locks come out of his hat. He looks pretty cool. But yeah, I think that he's still working out the kinks. But altogether, a good start for him, I think. And unfortunately, it just didn't work out for us. But we had 2 more games this series, and from what I saw, I think the Reds kind of, they looked good. They won the second game. The bats, they were swinging. The bats looked good. The Giants, for the last 2 games, for the whole series, really, they were attacking the ball, and they looked like a good team. They're a young team, kind of like the Reds, and they're aggressive. They play good defense, and then they got Verlander as kind of like the I guess sort of the mentor, old grizzled veteran. I can't believe he's still in the fucking league. But it's a young team, and I think they look to be probably one of the better teams in the National League this year. So, we lose the series, but I'm not sweating over that at all.
No.
Yeah, you saw a lot of moments that made you excited maybe for the rest of the year. It's been great in these past 3 games seeing that 1-2 punch of Matt McLain into Ellie. It's just been like, especially we'll get to it, the game with the Rangers today. You just saw like that is exactly what I expected and I hoped for this offense. Having those 2 guys right next to each other in the lineup produces only good things. If Matt McLain stays healthy, which I have no reason to think that he's going to re-aggravate any injury.
Yeah, you hope he doesn't. I want to get to the Texas game and the Texas series at large in a second. But what I said earlier, I said Matt McLain, we've only seen him 1 year and he was terrific, and then he was out the whole of last year. And you're kind of like everybody's Reds fans are resting their laurels on this guy. Like Reds fans are hoping that he comes back strong, or almost like expecting him to come back strong. That's a lot of pressure. But what we've seen in these 4 games has been incredible from Matt McLain. He is the real deal right now, at least in the beginning of the season. And I love his short, compact swing. It's super fast. He has a great, compact, fast swing, and he's been able to utilize that. And he had 3 homers in 3 games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
He's on 3
Nice.
games in a row, a homer for each game, I think. He's never hit a multi-home run game. So, where's he going?
I'll be right back.
He's got to skip out on this one. I mean, I don't know if this would be considered a highlight of the weekend, but one of the things that I took away, getting back to McLain, because he's my boy, of course, is how good he was in the field. He made some really nice plays at second base, really complimenting Ellie there at shortstop. You can just see like a quickness of the reaction and the decision making. It's like I wrote this down as to be like saying something way too early, but it's just fun to say it. Gold Glove contender right here. This guy's just going crazy. He's having a really
Why
good start to the
not?
season. Yeah.
Why not? I mean, I think, I haven't really looked at the stats. I haven't really looked at the defensive numbers on India versus McLain, but I think McLain probably edges out India. I'm not sure if Ben has any insight on that, but I think we have gained a full-time second baseman in Matt McLain. And he looks good on the leather. He looks good on the bat. I think he's the real deal. He's the real deal. I hope he continues down this trajectory. It's way too early to start making assertions about what a player will be or what a player is. We are 4 games in. So right now it just looks great and it's fun. So
I don't know. Well, Ben, if you had to like take Matt McLain versus India and you had to choose one guy based on what you know, who are you going with for the long term? And who do you feel more comfortable out there swinging the bat?
I mean, I like McLain. I think most Reds fans like McLain better. I mean, India was a great personality guy. Like he was fun to root for, but if you want to win ball games, McLain is my guy. I mean, even Terry Francona said he like reminds him a lot of oh my god, what's his name from Boston? Dustin Pedroia. I can see it, and hopefully his career path goes that way. But still so early. I'm just happy baseball's back.
I mean,
hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, what do you guys think of the new Selly? Home run Selly.
Yeah, the dollar bills they shoot I think it's like $1 million bills out of
Oh, really?
a gun, a golden gun. And
Ben, have you seen it? Have you seen it?
No. I just saw opening day. That was it.
It's a golden gun. It's like a golden like cash shooting gun.
Like you see them at strip clubs is what it looks like.
Yeah, they have like $1 million bills coming out of it. So it's like all this money coming out of this like gold cash gun, and it just flies in like all over the player when he walks into the dugout after he hits his home run. So they did it with Ellie today, and Matt McLain today. But yeah, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. The one thing I will say about the cash gun and that celebration is Sadak had an interesting little anecdote about it. And I mean, I guess it was Sadak and Jim Day were talking about why this celebration exists, because we had the Viking one in the past and now we have this cash celebration. Well, it exists because Terry Francona is a gambler, apparently, which I didn't know. He likes to go to the casino. He likes to play like some card games or whatever. And the players did it in honor of Tito because he's a big, I guess, likes to go to the casino and hang out and gamble, whatever. And I was thinking about this and I'm like, oh, that's, cute, whatever. It's nice that the players and the manager are having this like rapport. But at the same time, in the same breath, we are sponsored by FanDuel and it's running our broadcast. And Pete Rose died this year.
I was going to say everyone has a 14 patch on their shoulders this year.
Everybody has a 14 patch on their shoulders. He's ineligible for the Hall of Fame. FanDuel is doing the broadcast. Terry Francona likes to gamble. Our celebration is reminiscent of a big jackpot in a casino. And I'm just scratching my head to this and thinking like, dude, this is so ridiculous that we have been. And then you're watching gambling commercials before the broadcast comes back on. So it's like, it's really funny how baseball has gotten to this place, yet say what you want about Pete Rose. I know that a lot of people have opinions about him, but we are doing the same thing and maybe even worse that Pete Rose did in the gambling aspect back in the day.
And you got all the parlays in the beginning of the game that they update you on. Like, McLain needs 2 more base hits for the parlay to hit. I'm like, can't stand the gambling.
Yeah. Oh, it's so obnoxious.
Yeah.
I love the celebration. Don't get me wrong. The celebration is awesome. But the fact that Pete Rose was on this team, died this year, our TV broadcast is with FanDuel. It's so ironic and a little bit morbid that we're kind of celebrating this in, the death of one of the most legendary Reds that ever played the game. So
yeah,
not to take away from the happiness and the coolness of it, but
I don't know if it's part of some like deep-seated, conspiracy that FanDuel is giving these guys money-related props.
No,
no. It's a fun thing. It's better than what they did after the Viking helmet, which was like they just went into the locker room. They like played like they avoided the guy. They give him the cold shoulder. That was just boring to me. You like to see them rally around something and just like goof around. It's fun. It's
so is the dugout like full of like dollar bills like after they shoot it off?
Oh,
like
sure.
multiple times. Like if there's like 4 home runs, is there just full of money on the floor?
You have to ask Jim Day about that. He can probably tell you.
Do they have like the people that clean the bases off every 3rd inning, like wipe the money up?
You think Jim Day's the one cleaning up all the dollars? I feel like if anyone were to do it, he's the guy. He's already in there. They'll make him do whatever. Yeah, just get on your knees and pick up these fake dollar bills.
Well, Jim Day did say today that he was like talking about why they do it, and he was saying, "Oh, I actually poked my head in there to see if they were real, and then I found out they were fake. So I was trying to grab me a few."
Yeah, poked his head in. He was there cleaning up.
Yeah,
he's trying to pocket his share.
He's such a freak.
Like Jim Day as much as I do.
He's a freaking nerd, and I waved to him at one time, and he didn't wave back. And I was at Citi Field. I was like one of the only Reds fans on the third baseline. He didn't wave at me, bro. I was right there. I was right against the freaking netting. I was waving at him. He didn't wave back at me, and I was just, I've taken that to heart. I know he probably has work to do. He's probably tired. It was the end of the game, walking right back to the dugout, going to the clubhouse, whatever. But I was right there. I was like in his face, Jim Day, I love you, and then nothing. Didn't even look up. So
what I like about him, John and I went to a game once, and we went to the post game box where they're all at, and it was the night Votto I think went 4 for 4, and we were watching Jim Day get prepared for the post game thing, and there's like this big bug like flying above him, and he just like takes his little notepad scorecard thing and just swats it out of the air. I was like, that's so cool.
And you saw. I have the video of that. I'll send it. You just see this big bug just go down immediately.
Everyone around like cheers, like, yeah, Jim Day, let's go.
He played it off so cool. He was just so nonchalant about it.
Himself. He was in the groove that night. There's nights when like when legends perform, like Jordan's flu game, and you got Jim Day's bug game.
Jim Day's bug game. People cheered after he did that.
Oh yeah,
it was huge. It was absolutely massive.
Yeah, we were in a good
we were all pumped.
That's one Votto perfect on the day. Jim Day's perfect bug swat.
Is he a righty or is he a lefty?
I was a righty.
He's a righty.
He's a righty. Okay, all right. Wow, good to see that. That's nice.
Yeah.
Good for him, man. Good for him. Maybe I was wrong about him after all.
And he throws a hell of a pool party.
That's true. We all know it's a Reds, like not a secret. It's a known secret that Jim Day throws these wild pool parties for all the players, past and current. Actually, we know a couple guys who are past Reds who are continued guests.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Dietrich, Suarez. Suarez is like the main attendee there. Everyone's going there for Suarez and Jim Day.
He's got a legendary cannonball.
Gatsby-esque pool parties that he throws.
Oh, it's great. It's like a barbecue too. And Jim Day, you know him. He's got the apron on that says "Kiss the Cook," and he's
Laura's Lean is sponsoring it.
Laura's Lean sponsoring the event.
There's lean dogs flying everywhere. There's burgers. Jose Perez. Is that who I'm thinking of?
What?
Is it
Peraza? Jose Peraza.
Yeah.
Oh, Peraza. Yeah.
Peraza's in the inner tube, sipping on a cool glass of lemonade.
The 3-year Red who's now like retired, basically.
Yeah, he's done so.
Wait, didn't you message Jim Day or something and get banned or something? Or did he block you?
Dietrich. I've messaged Dietrich many times. He has seen them all on Instagram, but he's never responded. So he knows. He knows.
What do you say to him?
I just asked him if he's going to attend Jim Day's pool party. Just straight up. He just ignores me.
You message Derek Dietrich about attending a pool party that doesn't even happen.
It does happen. I wonder if he just wasn't invited that year and he was a little upset that he's getting this text from this fan about the best day of the year that he can't go to.
Yeah.
John, if you're owner of the team, if you're a GM of the team, you would sign Dietrich, even if we're having a World Series type year. You would drop the whoever you could just to sign Derek Dietrich, wouldn't you?
Listen, there are so many players who just get derailed from injury, and we all know that Derek Dietrich is one of them. He had like bone fragments swimming around his elbow or something like that. We can't act like that didn't play a part in his, immediate crash after an amazing month of, I believe it was May.
When he crushed the Pirates every single game.
Yeah. And we would end up still losing those games, but Dietrich would have a 3 home run game. But it was so fun. And of course, he was the hero of that opening day when he secured the lead with a 2-run home run. 3-run home run, and then Wandy Peralta was able to close it off.
Oh my God.
Wandy
Peralta. So I mean, yeah, it's a meme, and I will say, I always wear my Dietrich jersey. You got me to any Reds game I go to, and at least like 2 people yell out Dietrich, yeah, and favorite.
He was on the team for what, 1 year or 1.5 years, and he had so much swag. And that was the 2019 year when we had those throwback jerseys, and he did the Ted Kluzinski like sleeveless look, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Him and Puig lifting weights in the dugout.
Bro, that was such a year.
Him and Lorenzen lifting weights in the dugout, and Puig comes over, throws it away
in the trash can. He puts it in the trash can.
It's a barbell.
We talk about that year so often because although it was kind of a shit year for the Reds, I think I haven't had as much fun with a Reds team since then, to be honest with you.
2012 wasn't as fun as that year.
That year, every like game was like a clip or like something funny happened. Was that the same year Amir Garrett fought the Pirates too? Yeah, it was.
I'm pretty sure that, and Puig started a fight too.
Puig started the fight. You had Dietrich, or not Dietrich. What's his name? Drawing a blank. Anyways, yeah, it was a great year.
I want to know who you're talking about.
John Boy did the breakdown.
Yeah, it was Dietrich doing the bee thing.
The beekeeper.
Drawing the mustache with the under eye black.
Yeah, that was so special. Oh man, there was so much going on with that year. It was crazy.
Senzel coming up too, like everyone was excited for Senzel. Work out, but at the time it was like so much hype.
Yeah, and did Green? No, Green didn't play that year. I don't think.
No, I think his rookie year was like 21 or 2, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that was such a fun year, man. There was so much bullshit going on. And then we had the COVID year, and that was such a fall from what that year was. And I just really haven't had as much fun with the Reds since then. I think we had a lot of personalities on the team, and it didn't work out. Wasn't that good of a team, even though the lineup looked pretty good. I mean, Votto, Puig.
They traded for Trevor Bauer at the deadline.
Trevor Bauer,
those big splashes, and that was just crazy.
And then we had, we had Winker, we had Suarez, we had, was it Castellanos that year, right?
No, Castellanos was 21.
20
and 21.
20, it was 20, yeah. And so then we had, we had Suarez. We had our number 1 prospect, Senzel, come up. Van Meter, I think, was in the conversation that year, probably. That's a name I haven't spoken. Jankowski, the journeyman,
World Series winner.
World Series ring. Travis.
How did Jankowski get a ring before Votto did? That's sad.
Right place at the right time. He wasn't on the Reds.
Baseball's unfair. I mean, there's probably some more players who are like, maybe they had a 5-year MLB career and they have a World Series. It's just the reality of it. It sucks. Yeah. But fun times back in 2019. Didn't win anything. I think we're going to have a better team this year. I wanted to talk about a few different things just to kind of get the ball rolling. So Fairchild, we talked about him last time, right?
Expected to be in the opening day lineup, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah, he's gone.
Done.
Atlanta to Atlanta for
cash considerations.
Cash considerations.
Let's go.
We've had cash considerations more times than I can even count. He's been on our team for a long time, back and forth, like Jesse Sanchez for the Atlanta Braves. Jesse Chavez for the Atlanta Braves.
Same thing.
It's one of those things. I think we maybe alluded to it where we were having these worries that, like, you know what, maybe this team isn't different enough from years prior to really make a big difference in this season. But then you see it right there. You get rid of this guy who's been on the team for years, but he's never been more than a mediocre player who, has his moments, like anyone can, but like no one's excited when he gets up to bat. No one, you don't put him up in the first four in the lineup. It's not exciting.
Yeah. I mean, he's a utility player. He's not going to be an everyday starter even in Atlanta, unless they have a serious injury going on or something like that. But yeah, I mean, he's gone, and it's kind of weird because he was always there, but I don't really remember him that often, except for that Yankees game where he was hitting the back-to-back home runs with Moustakas and Friedel or whoever it was. But besides that, I mean, forgettable player. Not a bad player, but forgettable.
Mhm.
And now he's gone, and it's very clear that is part of Terry Francona's impact. I think that he's understanding with Nick Krall that these are not the pieces we need to, these are not the people we need to hold on to. Like, we can do so much better than a Stuart Fairchild as a utility guy, So anyway, he's gone. That's news. He's been on the team for, I think, like 4 years, which is kind of crazy. So
yeah, I couldn't tell you a single thing about Stuart Fairchild. Quite forgettable. Not glad he's gone. I hope he has a great career, but we need better players than that.
It's time to make something happen.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason, even if, like, let's say a coach on a team is not the problem, it's really deep seated and there's players that need to be removed, you fire the head coach just like as a sign of like things are changing. You get rid of Stuart Fairchild for some cash as a sign that things are changing or we're willing to change.
We've been in like a perpetual rebuild my whole life. Hopefully that's changing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's the hope that kills you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, whatever. I mean, not much else to say about that. I just wanted to bring it up because it is a acquisition for cash considerations that just happened. So, yeah. And then anyway, so Giants series, we lost that series. The highlight for me was that Nick Martinez catch, and the pitch clock counting that the fans did. Did you guys hear that? See that?
I believe they did that today as well.
They did it today.
They were counting down maybe in the first or second inning when the Reds already started to get a sizable lead, and they were just piling on.
Oh, to like fuck with the
opposing pitcher. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so during the Giants series, to give you some context, it was like the Reds were making their comeback against what is his name? Pitcher for the Giants, and sorry? No, it wasn't Verlander. It was it'll come to me. But he was pitching a pretty good game, and then he had this pitch clock violation, and then after that, the fans kind of got in his head and started counting the pitch clock as he was on the mound. He started missing the zone, missing the plate. It became like a bases loaded situation. Walked another guy. The Reds ended up scoring, I think, 3 runs that inning. That was the 3-run inning, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Robbie Ray gave up three earned runs that game. It wasn't enough for the Reds to get a win, but it did show some fight in that one. I remember that. They were down pretty early.
Yeah, that clip got passed around social media a lot, and I'm kind of surprised it hasn't happened until now. And I'm kind of happy that the Reds fans were the ones to pave the way and make that a thing. It's pretty funny. And they did do it again today against the Rangers in a 14-3 blowout. So it's pretty funny. I think it's it reminds me of the Cueto thing the Pirates did to the Reds in that wild card game back in 2013. Cueto.
Don't bring that up.
Gives me nightmares.
The Reds fans are known for 2 things: being not there and being fair weather. So how many times have you seen a post on Twitter that's just like, look at how empty this Reds stadium is. It's game 3 of the season on a Saturday and no one's there.
Oh, I saw
So
that. I saw that post.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not the first time I've seen that post. It probably won't be the last, but it does feel good. The crowd's getting into it because like you have to have something to cheer for. I blame the teams in the past to a certain extent for not putting on a good product. And when you don't do that, why am I going to like go above and beyond and cheer for this losing team? It's hard. I wouldn't expect most people to do that.
Is that concerning to either of you guys that the attendance, it's besides opening day, it's been shit. Is that concerning for you guys? And I mean, historically, we're putting up probably a little less than the league average, so probably the bottom half of attendance every year. And seeing that ballpark kind of empty on that Saturday, and then today was, it's a Monday at 6:40. I get it's a tough time, but yeah, it's and it's cold out. Whatever. I mean, it's the beginning of the season, but we have probably a decent baseball team, and people aren't showing up. Is that concerning to you guys at all?
It doesn't
You know,
look good. I mean, I never like to look at it, but fans will come when you start winning. So, honestly, like Reds fans, and I'm sure other fan bases are the same way. Like, they only show up when you win. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. Most fans are casuals, and they want to watch a winning team. Nobody wants to go watch their team lose 10-2 when it's 50 degrees out. Like, so yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, people who are not huge fans and fans alike, they want to see hits. That's the one thing I think any fan wants to see when they go to a game. And when that doesn't happen, it's boring. And it's like, why are you there to drink overpriced beer? It's not worth it. But and it's like you look at the Bengals and their recent successes and how they kind of turned into from one of the worst teams in the league to a contender, at least on paper, a contender every year. And you see attendances rise. Uh, the 2019 Bengals were terrible. And it wasn't as soon as you put Joe Burrow in, but you put that guy in, you start to build some success, people show up. Now, I don't know how much that's going to translate to baseball because you do have that rocket superstar potential guy in Ellie, and he's already doing amazing things on the field. It's just not flashy enough to, I think, attract all those fans that a football game would. So I don't necessarily expect attendance to rise all too much unless we start becoming major contenders, and it's really clear to see that in the games won column.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're on the money with that. It's like this is not a winning franchise. This has not been a winning franchise since, I mean, I guess you could say 2010, 2012. But even before that, we haven't won a World Series since 1990. So it's been a tough going for Reds fans. That's a huge point of contention. The winning with the fan with attendance it's it's always going to be connected. It's connected in every sport, but I think more so in baseball probably. I mean, look at the Cardinals, historically amazing team, an amazing like couple decades of baseball. And they've been bad for what, 3-4 years? And Busch Stadium is a ghost town right now. It's completely empty. And this is what people would qualify as one of the best fan bases in baseball. And no one's showing up. And it has to do with the product. But it probably has something to do with baseball as well. It might be symptomatic of fanship in baseball in general, fandom in baseball. Maybe it's just not as accessible or as entertaining as football, or I don't want to get into all that, but I don't know. Yeah, I think you're hitting the nail on the head though. With that, performance will coincide with attendance pretty much 100% of the time.
Yeah. And we'll see what happens when it starts warming up too. Get some fans out there for cheap tickets.
I don't want to hear that shit. I'm tired of I hear this. I watch a lot of soccer, as you guys know, and I hear this shit all the time. People, and we're weird as a country where we sort of are obsessed over attendance numbers for sports. And a lot of that banter comes from, oh, you can't even fill your stadium. And that a lot of that banter comes in soccer. You see that a lot of in American soccer and MLS. And I think it's just like those excuses about like weather, about like, oh, there's like a concert in town. There's something at the convention center. There was traffic. There was a pile up on 75. I'm so sick of those excuses across the board. I know it's 45 degrees at the end of March, but if you love this team, you want to come out and see them. I mean, I know it's not convenient always, but I don't know. Like whenever people say stuff like that, and I get people have kids and they have obligations and 640 is a hard time to make, but I don't know. If you like the team and you want to be there, you'll be there.
You're not thinking about the mind of the consumer, Mitch. You got to think about, again, you're selling a product. The people who really want to be there are the ones that are there right now. They are there when it's cold and there's inclement weather and it's early in the season and we're unsure about the results of the season. It turns out today they got rewarded for that. So those are the people who are there. You need to start getting into the minds of people who do not give a single shit about baseball to have something to root for. That's just what happens. We just haven't had that.
It's just what happens. You're right. Yeah. There is you can't disconnect that. You can't disconnect the performance with the attendance. Very true.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I did preface this a little bit with you, John. We've been talking about the torpedo bat real quick.
Here we go. Yeah, I want to hear it. I want to hear your hot take.
Here's
you know the torpedo bats, right, Ben?
A little bit. Something the Yankees are using them.
So it's not just the Yankees. I don't know how it became about the Yankees only. I think only for a while it was just Judge and I think Volpe using the torpedo bats on the Yankees. So I don't think it was like really a widespread thing. In fact, Trevino is using the torpedo bat on the Reds, and Ellie De La Cruz used the torpedo bat for the first time today in a live game. He used it in batting practice earlier today, and this is March 31st, not April 1st when this pod is coming out. But March 31st, he used it during batting practice, and then he used it in the game for the first time. So I think now it's kind of a league-wide thing. I don't know why the Yankees got so much credit, probably because they destroyed the Brewers 20-9. But I don't know, and I'm not an analytics guy. I don't have the numbers. I'm not in the FO of like a Major League Baseball team. But I don't know is this really the cause? Is this really how you win baseball games? Is it really just the torpedo bat? A bowling pin shaped bat is causing this disparity in runs? Like is it really this bad? Like everybody's like, oh, a torpedo bat. And I was like, do we even know if it's the torpedo bat or is it just like a 20-9 game?
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys?
Overreaction. I don't know anything about the bats, but I just feel like it's probably an overreaction to a high-scoring game, and it's the Yankees, so everyone's just gonna try and point fingers, like, oh, the Yankees. They're doing something.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that Yankees game has spread outside the baseball sphere. I got a text from my buddy who does not watch baseball, but he said, "Oh, I was listening to NPR and they did a story on the Yankees with their torpedo bats." Like it has crossed over into the mainstream, at least in a small way, where it is like showing up to people's feeds who do not follow baseball. So it is something, and my only take on it is that their explanation for that bat shape is purely based on in physics. If it hits the part of the bat with the most matter or the most wood, it's going to transfer that energy more efficiently, something along those lines. So if that's what it is, then everyone should be using it, and it will change the game in a substantial way that either is going to be just a more exciting product and people love it, or there's going to need to be a reaction. It's either going to have to be banned or baseballs are going to be deadened or something like that.
Do we know, like, that's the thing that I'm getting at, is like, do we know that this is like the cause of these hits? Like, Ellie De La Cruz had 2 home runs today. Okay. And he's using the bat. Is that because of the torpedo bat, or is it because he's a great hitter? You know, it's like,
I bet you there's other teams using the bat that are not scoring 20 runs a game that nobody's talking about. So
yeah, but it's
just an outlier.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now you can't take too much away from it, other than the fact that we're experimenting with bat shape, which is fine. And I think that, you know, it's cool that we're trying something different. Like, things evolve. You know, the tools that we use to play our games evolve. Soccer balls have evolved. Footballs have evolved. Snowboards have evolved. Like, it's fine. I'm okay with it. But I mean, everybody's talking about the torpedo bat, and I'm like, is it not contributing to this, you know, huge run disparity that the Yankees had over the weekend against the Brewers? I don't know. Is it contributing to the fact that Ellie hit 2 home runs today? I don't know. Does some analytics guy know more than me? Probably. But I think that it's a lot of talk, a lot of hype right now. Whatever happens with, I think that baseball needs more offense. Feel free to disagree with me. So I'm okay with anything that promotes more offense, especially considering the spin rate era that pitchers have sort of excelled in for the last like few years. So whatever. I don't want to dwell on it, because whatever. The game changes, the bats will change. It's just what baseball has done for hundreds of years, over 150 years. So
it'll be interesting, because the one difference in baseball compared to other sports is that it's such a battle between one guy with the bat and one guy throwing the ball. If this one guy throwing the ball continues to feel disadvantaged because of the shape of the bats, we're gonna have to see a change. It's going to happen whether fans like it or not. But MLB is going to have to react in some way. They already did with sticky stuff a couple of years ago. They thought pitchers were getting too much of an advantage, and they put an end to it. We'll see. Again, the theme is too early to tell, but I still have a take on it. If we start to see records being broken multiple times for multiple teams and multiple players, then yes, this is making an impact.
yeah, I mean, it could very well be making an impact right now. It's such a small sample size, and you know, the nature of social media, the nature of our game now, and the nature of our world and in society at large is that we make these jumps to conclusions. Ban the torpedo bat. It's too many runs. Baseball's broken. Hitters have too much of an advantage now. It's like, dude, it's been fucking 4 games. Put your balls on ice.
Ben, I need to know, will MLB The Show put torpedo bats in the game, and will it be diamond rated?
If it makes them money, they'll add it. Absolutely.
Oh, that's where I'm at. It's going to be added.
Yeah.
Infamously, MLB The Show is late to the rules by like 1 year. So like everything that happens this year, they added the next year. So maybe the torpedo bats will make an appearance, or people are gonna find out that it's like actually not that good for most hitters, and then we won't even talk about it in the next like 2 months. So whatever. That's the last I'll say. I'm so disappointed that lasted as long as it did, because I didn't want to talk about that as much as people are talking about it on social media. So kaput.
Yeah. Got it out of our system.
We got it out of our system. So you guys want to move on to today's game?
Yeah, listen, guys. I'm a little we're getting towards the end of the episode. I'm gonna be going to bed here soon. That's why I would like to welcome you to the segment called Nightmare Fuel. Okay? Here's the scenario. I'm just a little boy, okay? And I'm all tuckered out, and I'm in my bed under my covers, getting ready to go to sleep, but I'm getting scared. I'm afraid that the Reds might be, I don't know, something's gonna go wrong with them. So I call in my parents. That's you two. And I want you to make me feel better about some of the fears I have of this team so far. Are you up for the challenge? Are you gonna help me get to bed?
Yes.
Ben, I need an enthusiastic yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be if you're Boo, I'm gonna be your Sully.
Okay. Number 1. Guys, I'm scared. I don't think we can have a reliable closer without Diaz.
Me and Jabot will do the job. Trust me.
It's not comforting at this point.
I'm not gonna sleep a wink if that's
Give
the
him
answer you
another
give
shot.
me.
Here's what I'll tell you, little boy that I'm tucking into bed.
Mhm.
We're just gonna score 14 runs every game, so we don't have to worry about a closer. Sam Mole gave up 3 runs, and it doesn't even matter. He gave up how many runs? 2 runs? I don't know. Whatever.
Hunter Green's just gonna pitch 9 innings every start.
Yeah, with his 150 pitches.
Mhm.
So don't worry about it. We're gonna score runs, and then we're gonna get that big padded lead. But then by the time probably mid-April comes around, we're gonna have Alexis Diaz back on the mound, serving up 1, 2, 3 innings, closing down the 9th.
Mhm.
I don't think there's anything to worry about in terms of closers right now. It's so early in the season. We don't need to think about the repercussions of not having Alexis Diaz until we probably get into July or August. So I think right now we have a strong offense with strong hitters. McLain showing his stuff. Ellie De La Cruz 2 home runs today, and we have a capable bullpen. So you don't have to worry, guy.
Yeah, it's funny that we are dependent on a Diaz brother because I just feel like there's a spell over both of them. Just something bad happens to at least one of them every year, and so far, we don't have Alexis in the lineup, so it's a little worrying, especially after not having the best season last year. Um, Gave up a couple losses, blown saves. So, but if you really think that he'll come back and we're just gonna outscore opponents in the first couple innings of the game, then all right, I'm starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. Look, the nightlight has been switched on. You know?
What's your second fear? What's your second nightmare?
Yeah, I am still a little scared. You know, um, I feel like that. I don't know if Spencer Steer, he may not be back. He was. We thought he would start off the year on the IL. He is playing now as a DH. Hitless so far in the first 4 games.
No. He had a hit today.
Oh, did he get a hit?
Yeah, he got his first hit.
1 hit. Well, shoot. I'm already
RBI.
feeling better.
Couple
I'm already
RBIs.
feeling
Yeah.
already feeling better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe it was 1 RBI, but either way, he got his first hit, first RBI. I do think it's something to talk about. Ben, you mentioned this with Spencer Steer. You think he should be on the IL right now?
Yeah. Hopefully they put him there.
What makes you say that? Just because he had 3 bad games?
Yeah, I think he was hurt in the off season too, right?
Yeah, he was hurt. I mean, they talked about putting him on the IL, and then the opening day they switched it up. I think it was that day they said, "Oh, he's actually going to be in the lineup."
I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
You're not making me too confident, Ben.
Sorry.
Supposed to be putting my worries to ease. Is this something that we should be kind of concerned about? Do I need to sleep with one eye open?
Nah, he'll be fine. He'll stretch it out. He'll be good.
This is the proverbial monster kind of rapping on the door of the closet as John sort of hides his eyes behind his comforter. That is a potential Spencer Steer IL stint. So we have to calm him and tell him, look, Spencer Steer got his first hit, first RBI. That's something to take away from today's game. Okay. Yeah. Everybody contributed today. And I think that, the injury concern is real, and this team is a little bit battered up coming into the season. I think that we're going to give him a few more games, a few more series to see what he can do with the bat. And if something needs to be adjusted, I trust that Terry is going to Terry Tito, whatever. Yeah. Is gonna take the right precautions with him, and I don't think they're gonna force him to come out and play if he's not willing and capable. So I think he's all right.
Yeah, I think he's just one of those guys that he has shown that he can be a great hitter. And if that's all we're going to use him for in the short term as a DH, then he needs to start showing it. It's a team sport. Everyone needs to have their day in the sun when the stars, are underperforming. He's one of those guys that I should be excited when he comes up to bat. I should say hey, rest assured, we're going to score that guy from second because Spencer Steer's up to bat, baby. Don't even worry about it.
Mm-hmm. And today was an offensive best for the Reds. I think it was the most runs we scored, or the biggest difference in the biggest run differential since 2023. And we're in the fourth game of the season in 2025. This was a monster showing by the Reds offense. And Ellie De La Cruz, 2 home runs. One was 436 feet. Matt McLain, his 3rd home run in as many days. Okay. We are firing right now in this Rangers game. And, not every day is going to be like that, but this is the Reds offense at its best, coming out and hitting the ball. TJ Friedel hitting the ball. I think everybody got a hit today besides Candelario. So
there's a couple people, it looks like,
was it CES?
CES did not get a hit, no.
Yeah. CES got hit on the hand.
And he ended up scoring when he
X-rays are negative. He was taken out of the game, but X-rays are negative, so I think he's going to be okay. But pretty much everybody contributed. This is the Reds offense at its best. Ellie De La Cruz hitting absolute piss missiles. Matt McLain looking good with that short swing. I think the Reds offense looks really, really hot right now. Even when they lost those games, they still look like they're having good at-bats and good swings. So
yeah.
I'm feeling really good about, today left me feeling great. I kind of sort of sauntered in and out of the living room because I was feeling pretty confident after that 6-run lead in the 2nd inning, I think it was. So, they looked hot today. And we got to talk about our man Brady Singer before we sign off. Holy crap.
Yep.
Brady Singer is not the 5th man, Ben. He's not the 5th man. Maybe he's the 3rd man. Because if he puts on a performance like he did tonight regularly, he is moving up in that rotation.
Yeah. Best pitching performance of the season so far. 7 innings, 8 strikeouts, gave up 1 hit. You can't say that about anyone else who pitched. They at least faltered a little bit in their starts. Maybe he's not as flashy as some of Hunter Green's pitches. It doesn't look as nasty, but you can't argue with the results. Really happy with it. Great fantasy pickup. Looking at me, but if you want to get 20 points on your roster right there, pick him up in leagues.
He had that cutter working. He had that cutter working inside. He had that slider that was looking good. He had a 2-seamer. Everything was working tonight. And to be honest with you, the Rangers looked fucking terrible. The Rangers couldn't do shit for the whole game. They had 1 hit until I think the 9th inning, and they didn't look good. They looked confused. Brady Singer just completely embarrassed them. And that was the takeaway for me, actually. The 14 runs is crazy, and that's the Reds offense that I want to see every day. but Brady Singer getting the picking up, getting him from Jonathan India and having his debut, basically tying a Tom Seaver record. It was the first Red since Tom Seaver to have a debut that went 7 scoreless innings, which is kind of a mouthful, but that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a LeBron stat right there, but it's
a little bit. We're a little bit in the weeds now.
A little bit in the weeds, yeah. We're all impressed, okay? But yeah, I mean, listen, you need every single one of those guys to put up a decent performance every week, and your fifth man does it, great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, feeling good about it. That's pretty much all I had, I think. Yeah, it's been a good start to the baseball season. We are now at 500 squarely. We've got 2 more games with the Rangers, and then we're moving on to Milwaukee. The 0-4 Brewers? What are they at now? Is it 0-4? 0-5?
Kick them while they're down. That's what I'm hoping.
We don't see this often. They lost today 11-1 against the Kansas City Royals. 0-4 to start the year. We have 2 more games with Texas at Great American Ballpark, and then we're going to Milwaukee to play Stinky Yelich.
Yeah, man. Brewers have been getting crushed. They were, the recipients of that 20-9 loss against the Yankees. Then the Yankees beat them again 12-3. Now today 11-1. I mean, these guys can't get it together. So hopefully we keep that trend.
This is why you don't talk about the torpedo bats. I mean, they're getting shelled everywhere they go. You can't talk about those torpedo bats and say like, "Oh, it's because the bat looks like a cricket bat." No, maybe the Brewers just suck. I hope they suck.
Yeah.
I was on the train going uptown, and there's a bunch of Yankees fans and Brewers fans on the same car as me, and I was like, "Oh, what a beautiful day for baseball! It's a Saturday. We got our division rivals playing the Yankees," and little did I know that game would be such a freaking blowout.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that keeps happening, and hopefully we have better luck against the Brewers this year.
I feel it. This is it. This is the year. Vibes are high. Right now, feeling like a nice 9 out of 10 on what I've seen so far.
Today was good.
That'll change throughout the season. But right now, I'm still filled with that, that Tito hope and the showings of some good offense and some good pitching. What more could I ask for?
Not much. Okay. Well, everybody, it's been nice talking with you guys. Reds moving on to 500. And Ben, you want to start this sign off?
I'll talk to you next time.
And
go Leafs.
What? Okay, this is a hockey
Leafs,
podcast.
Baby. Go Leafs.
Go
Leafs. Go Reds. Who dey, baby?
Who dey.
All right. I'll see you boys.
Who dey.
Take her easy. Who dey.